Fine. The recording has started.
Yes.
Should I start with Naynesh sir's introduction?
I
Should I
think
begin?
Lata ma'am will deliver the welcome address and then you can introduce him. Yeah, over to you, Lata ma'am.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर निधि। 10 दिवसीय प्रमाण पत्र पाठ्यक्रम के इस मंच पे मैं प्रोफेसर लता कुमार, शहीद मंगल पांडे राजकीय स्नातकोत्तर महिला महाविद्यालय मेरठ से आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। मैं हार्दिक स्वागत करती हूँ हमारे महाविद्यालय की प्राचार्य महोदया प्रोफेसर अंजू सिंह जी का। मैं अनंत स्वागत करती हूँ हमारे आज के जो मुख्य वक्ता हैं श्री नयनेश पारिक जी, मैं आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ। हमारी समिति के सभी सदस्यों, कोऑर्डिनेटर्स डॉक्टर निधि, डॉक्टर विकास जी का भी मैं बहुत बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ। हमारी समिति के जुड़े हुए सदस्यों और इस मंच से जुड़े हुए सभी प्रतिभागियों का भी मैं बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। मैं बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ इस कार्यक्रम से किसी न किसी रूप में जुड़े हुए सभी लोगों का जो इस कार्यक्रम को सफल बनाने में अपना योगदान दे रहे हैं। निश्चित तौर पर ये हमारा आयोजन बहुत अच्छा चल रहा है और आगे भी अच्छा रहेगा। आज डॉक्टर नयनेश जी के द्वारा शिव कथा के बारे में बात की जानी है। तो कई बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ चीज़ें धार्मिक या धर्म से जुड़ी हुई हैं, इनका कोई आधार नहीं है, पर धीरे धीरे यदि हम इनके बहुत गर्भ में जाएंगे, बहुत पीछे जाएंगे, इनको समझने की कोशिश करेंगे, तो हमें कई बार लगेगा कि ये जो सारी चीज़ें हैं, जो ईश्वर की बात होती है, जो भगवान की बात होती है, वो भी कहीं ना कहीं हमारे जीवन शैली से जुड़ी हुई होती है, हमारे अनुभवों से जुड़ी हुई होती है। और हर अनुभव प्रत्येक व्यक्ति का एक जैसा हो ये ज़रूरी नहीं होता। तो कई बार सबको एक जैसे अनुभव नहीं होते हैं, अलग अलग लोगों के अलग अलग अनुभव होते हैं, लेकिन चीज़ें कहीं ना कहीं अपना अस्तित्व रखती हैं। तो निश्चित तौर पर शिव कथा पर जब बात होगी तो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि ये केवल एक काल्पनिक चीज़ हो या इसके बारे में हम समझ नहीं सकते, इसको महसूस नहीं कर सकते, ऐसा नहीं होगा। कहीं ना कहीं इसमें कुछ तर्क होंगे, तथ्य होंगे जिनके बारे में नयनेश जी बात करेंगे। मैं इस मंच से आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत और अभिनंदन करती हूँ। धन्यवाद। ओवर टू निधि जी।
Thank you, Professor Lata ma'am, for delivering the welcome address. And I am now pleased to invite my esteemed colleague and the co-coordinator of this 10-day IKS certificate course that we are doing in collaboration with Shahid Mangal Pandey Government PG Girls College, Meerut, Dr. Vikas Rajpopat, Assistant Professor at the Department of Journalism and Communication, Central University of Chhattisgarh, Bilaspur, to introduce our guest expert for today's session, Shri Naynesh Parekh ji.
Thank you, Dr. Nidhi. Good evening, everyone. Namaste. Today we are privileged to welcome a distinguished speaker who brings unique blend of business experience, academic involvement, and deep cultural curiosity to our FDP on Indian knowledge systems. Mr. Naynesh Parekh is a seasoned professional with over 33 years of diverse experience in management, human resources, advertising, and communications. He has served in senior managerial role in renowned organizations like Tata Press, DHL, and USA Martin Telecom, and is currently the business head of his own enterprise, Ascent Advertising and Design Firm. But Mr. Parekh is not just an industry veteran. He is also committed academic and permanent resource and a resource faculty for multiple prestigious institutions across Gujarat. His teaching spans a range of subjects from advertising, management, and branding to the science of colors and mythology. What makes today's session special is what we are is that we are not just hearing from an academician, but from someone who has walked in the corridors of corporate boardrooms and now draws profound insights from our rich cultural texts. Mr. Parekh does not call himself a management guru, yet he has a deep and personal passion for Shiv Katha, the timeless narratives around Lord Shiv. and loves to explore their hidden wisdom for application in leadership, personal growth, and contemporary management. Though today's session, Through today's session, we look forward to a refreshing perspective on how ancient Indian narratives, especially those centered around Lord Shiv, can inspire thought leadership and ethical management in the modern world. Let us welcome Mr. Naynesh Parekh. Naynesh ji, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vikas. Thank you, Nidhi. I will not attempt your second name. It took me 30 years to pronounce Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I am already 60, so I don't want to attempt that. Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not an academician, so my style would be a little different compared to what the earlier esteemed speaker has given. But for the sure, for this 1.5 hour, I will take you to a different world. Now, I come to my presentation, and let me talk about my presentation, how this presentation has come up. So there is a story behind this story. The story was like that. Once I was in one of the beautiful Shivalaya, and I was meditating in front of wonderful Shivling, very serene, very beautiful environment. And suddenly, so many people sounded there, and there was a group of foreign students, some Swedish and Norwegian and Canadian and whatnot. They might have come under some student exchange program there, and that group was led by the Indian boy. Now, he came up to the Shivling and started explaining about the Shivling. They must be in search of some subject for their PhD or whatever. So he said, or rather he was explaining to his colleagues that this is Shivlingam, a male and female procreation organ. This is Indian deity with male phallus and whatnot. And immediately, there was kind of expression, wow, what a wonderful subject and what a wonderful thing. But this disturbed me a lot, my belief system. Because when I am in front of Shivling, or rather everyone, we never think like that. To us, it is the Advaita of supreme conscious and supreme energy. It is the Advaita of Purush and Prakriti. It is the form of a formless, Nirakar, Omkar. So that disturbed my belief system. Though that guy was not totally wrong, but I realized at that very moment that something needs to be changed. A perspective needs to be changed, and let this student or anyone to understand our very heritage legends from the Puranas and from other religious texts with the concept of modern management theory. And this is how this presentation has come up. So I decided that I will now link the modern management theories or concepts with the legends and develop a synchronicity so that people can understand and can change their perspective to see and watch Shivlingam or any other deities. So I have taken this presentation to many institutes, and I think I have got a huge welcome for this presentation. And I mean, for all of you, all the participants, I think there are three takes. One is storytelling. Another is the synchronicity of the legend with the modern management concept. And of course, the presentation. My presentation would be simple but pictorial, which will keep your interest level That is what I believe. But for the presentation, what we have learned, as Dr. Vikas said, that we are the adman. It sounds more like a madman. So do we. I had to create a mahal. So I will start with a small prayer and then I will go to the presentation. Vande Dev Umapatin Surguru Vande Jagat Karanam Vande Pannaka Bhushanam Mrugadaram Vande Pashu Pati Vande Surya Shashanka Vahaniyanam Vande Mukundam Priyam Vande Bhakta Janashrayam Cha Varadam Vande Shivam Shankaram. With salutation to the Lord of Lords, Shiva, I start my presentation. Now, as I said, I have picked up few management theories and concepts which are less talked in the academics and hardly practiced in the real life. So I have picked up those theories and concepts. So I start my presentation. As I mentioned earlier, that every symbol associated with Lord Shiva, such as crescent moon, Tripund, Trishul, Damru, Rudraksh, and coiled serpents, has a profound story and a legend. And while different Puranas and religious texts offer varying interpretation, I have chosen the most popular version. So this you can count even as my disclaimer. If someone says that, no, this story in Matsya Puran is like this, or someone comes and says this story in Garud Puran, then you are right. You are right. I believe that. But I have picked up the popular legend. With these stories, we will explore and connect key management theories, making them easier to understand and remember. So my first management theory or the concept which I am talking about is the knowledge management. Let us understand what knowledge management is. Knowledge management is a systematic process of identifying, creating, organizing, sharing, and applying knowledge within an organization to improve decision making and efficiency. The benefits are obvious. For individual, it helps and develops skills, enhances problem solving, and provide access to valuable insights. Whereas to the organization, it encourages innovation, streamline processes, and fosters the collaboration. There are two types of knowledges, tacit and explicit. The one which is internalized and intuitive is known as tacit, and one which is structured and documented is explicit. We will understand with the examples. So, how to understand this concept? So I have picked up the beautiful story which all of you must have heard, very popular legend of Ganga Avtaran. So I connect knowledge management with this. So how? Yavad Bhagirathi Ganga, Yavad Devo Maheshwar, Yavad Vedaha Pravartante, Tvatam Vijay Bhava. The story of Ganga and Jeta. Here goes this story. Once there was a king called Sagar, who was a very mighty king, and he was a samrat. He has magically acquired 60,000 sons. This is what the Quran and our religious texts talk about. So he has magically acquired 60,000 sons. Now he was samrat and he wanted to be a Chakravarti. So he performed Ashwamedh Yagna. Now in Ashwamedh Yagna, there is one integral ritual and there is one horse which has been left, and then the king can claim the entire territory wherever the horses goes. Now, what happens whenever on the earth or in the Netherlands, whenever someone is performing a huge penance, or if there is a mighty king, Indra will get jealous. The Indrasan will start shaking. Now, Indra is a very special character in our Puran text or the religious text, because what I understand is that Indra is a title and not a particular person. So he is always scared. So Indra got scared. He picked up that horse and went to Netherlands and tied that horse in front of Kapil Muni's ashram. Now, Kapil Muni, the sage Kapil, was in meditation for several years. Now, what happened? Those 60,000 sons of Sagar were in search of that horse, and they found in Netherlands in front of sage Kapil's ashram. So, without understanding anything, they started hurling a lot of insults and a lot of bad words, which they have given to the sage Kapil. Sage Kapil, as he was in meditation for several years, he opened his eye, and within seconds, the Krodagni, within seconds, that 60,000 suns burnt into the ashes. Whoop. Now, as the final riots has not happened for this 60,000 sons, their souls went to Pret Yoni. They wandered as a ghost. Now the descendant of Sagar, that is Bhagirath, I think great grandson of Sagar, he understood that this can only be vanished if the water body of heaven, known as Ganga, comes down to the earth or the Netherland, and if she washes the soul or the bodies of the 60,000 sons of Sagar, then only they can go to the heaven. So he performed penance for Brahma. Now again, very interesting part. Brahma normally is ready to give the boons in our religious text. He is always open and he is always ready to give the boons. So he immediately gave a boon and said, okay, I will ask Ganga to come down and she will do the needful. Now he informed this to Ganga. Now Ganga was water of heaven. She came out of the holy kamandal or the pot of Brahma, and she used to remain, or she used to float near the feet of Lord Vishnu. So when Brahma said this to Ganga, that you are supposed to go down, you are supposed to descend to the earth and Netherland and wash off the soul, she felt very humiliated. I will take you back to the beautiful painting of Simon Ram, because there is one connectivity which I need to establish. You see the painting, when I have seen this painting for the first time, I was wondering as a creative man that why Ganga has been depicted in the red, yellow or the orange hues instead of, water should be in blue or white or green at the most. I will connect you back to this story. I will come to this point, how this has happened. So back to the story. When
Naynesh sir,
Brahma,
Naynesh sir,
जी,
just a moment. Sorry for the interruption. एक रिक्वेस्ट ऐसा है कि आप इंग्लिश के साथ साथ हिंदी का भी अगर यूज कर सके तो वो कुछ कुछ लोगों के लिए बेटर रहेगा, if it is possible.
sure, I will try.
Thank you.
In
Thank
fact,
you.
to be honest, when I have seen the earlier sessions, a lot of people have been asking to be in English. So I made a point that it should be in English, because there are, I think, a lot of participants from southern part of the India. So that was the reason. Anyway, I will also incorporate Hindi into it. So Brahmaji ordered Ganga that you should descend and cleanse the soul of this wandering ghost. प्रेतात्मा की शांति के लिए उसका तर्पण हो, उसका स्वर्ग लोक हो, इसलिए आपको जाना पड़ेगा. Now, hearing that, Ganga felt very humiliated because this was a below graded task which she was offered with. But what to do? Boss has ordered, Brahmaji has ordered, she cannot deny to that. So she decided that I will flow, I will descend, मैं ऐसा अवतरण करूंगी that I will wash off the entire earth and Netherland. Finished, matter is all over. Now this information got leaked. I'm keeping this light-hearted, so don't get offended with the religious text. So this information was leaked and Bhagirath came to know once again. Again, he went to Brahmaji, and I mentioned earlier, Brahmaji is very typical in characteristic. So he said, now I cannot handle, you had to go to the Shiva. He could only be the savior. So he went to Shiva. And Shiva said, he's a gullible hermit. वो तो एक अघोर थे. So he's a gullible hermit. So he said, don't worry, I will take care. So what he did is, he opened his mighty dreadlock, Jata. He opened his mighty dreadlock and waited for the fearful descent of Ganga. Now connecting the dot. Ganga was arrogant at the time of descending. That is why she was depicted in red or orange or yellow hue. But in some of the painting, I have also seen that as she close by to the Jata, she realizes at that time she was not knowing that. So when she get close to the Jata, her hue changes to the blue and white. Now, Shiv opened his Jata dreadlock and he accepted the fierce flow of Ganga. He churned the water, usko bade अच्छे से घुमाया. He churned the water and then he passed down the calm, composed streams of Ganga to the earth and Netherland. And then story continues wherein Ganga then goes to the other part and then she cleans soul of many such things. But my connect to the knowledgement is up to here. Hence, we will talk about this story in this way. Now what happens? How to connect the synchronicity of Ganga descending on Jata. So, who is Shiv? You are Shiv. I am Shiv. We all are Shiv. What is Ganga? Ganga is knowledge. Knowledge always comes with the great flow. What is Jata? Jata kya hai? Jata is our cognitive capabilities. What are we supposed to do? Whenever we receive such flow of knowledge, we are supposed to churn that knowledge and we have to pass on to our downline. आप टीचर हो तो आप अपने स्टूडेंट को वो नॉलेज शेयर नहीं कर पाएंगे जो आपको मिला है. You have to pass on into these small, calm, composed streams which can remain ever. Remember one thing, Ganga was sacred, but she got sanctified when she fell on the Jata Mastisk of Shiva. So, Shiva represents the teacher, we. who channel and refines the flow of knowledge, that is Ganga. Left uncontrolled, knowledge like the mighty Ganga can be overwhelming. Shiva's dreadlock symbolizes the cognitive capability. Filtering and directing knowledge with wisdom. A teacher must tame arrogance and chaos, ensuring knowledge is structured and purposeful. We'll talk about tacit, the intuitive knowledge, and explicit knowledge with one framework. And the 7 streams of Ganga we all are aware with: Bhagirathi, Jahnavi, Bilganga, Mandakini, Rishi Ganga, Saraswati, which is a Lupt river which goes into the Netherlands, and Alaknanda, which merges at Devprayag. Now, we have been talking about the tacit and explicit knowledge. These are the 2 types of knowledge. One is internalized, intuitive. In fact, I go little beyond. We all are, as a Atman, we are all pre-programmed and probably carries lot of things even at the time of birth as the intuitive knowledge. There is no science behind it, or science cannot prove that. But I personally believe that everything cannot be is equal to MC square. I mean, there has to be something beyond that also. So, tacit is something from our birth we have learned by, sharing the experiences, observing, imitating, brainstorming. A lot of things happens. And explicit knowledge is the structured knowledge which we are gaining throughout our life. Combination of this again gets internalized and again becomes the tacit knowledge, part of it. Again, we receive some explicit knowledge, and again, this is a circle. And look at the picture or the diagram. This framework has been given by 2 Japanese theoreticians, Nanuka and Takochi, if I'm pronouncing correctly. And look at the circle. I mean, it also looks like the physiology of our brain, our cognitive capability. So this is the interesting analogy. And this is the synchronicity of knowledge management. Ganga knowledge, in fact, it applies even for the wealth, prosperity, not only knowledge. Everything comes with the fierce flow and lot of arrogance. We have to tame that. We have to churn that. It is our cognitive capability. And Shiv is we. Few examples I have taken from the real world, and of course these examples belongs to the academic. National Digital Library of India, NDLI, you all must be aware with this thing, so I'm not getting much into the examples. Swayam and Swayam Prabha, some of the beautiful examples. E-Gyan course of IGNOU, the repository which has been created, and iSTEM. This is also one of the knowledge management examples. My favorite is ICICI Bank, the first private bank into, the first bank into the private sector applied this system, which was known as wise guy model, wherein any employee and all the employees were supposed to write down each and every experiences they have gained at their branch level. So, if Dr. Vikas transferred from Rajkot to Bilaspur, and if he holds account with ICICI Bank, he will get a similar experience at Bilaspur, which he was getting here at Rajkot. Now, this was the real world. I mean, if you ask the GPT Baba or Google Core, they will give you many more examples into this area. But knowledge management is one of the most crucial management which we need to adapt, learn, and practice. As I mentioned earlier, it is less talked and hardly practiced. But it is that. Coming to the next management theory, and that is change management. What is change management? Change management is a structured approach to transitioning individual, team, or the organization from current state to the future desired state. आप जहां हो, आपको जहां जाना है, इन बिटवीन जो प्रोसेस है उसको चेंज मैनेजमेंट कहते हैं. It involves planning, implementing, and sustaining. These are the three vital things for the change management. But the objective is to improve the processes or the system in a such a way that you minimize the resistance. जो विद्रोह होता है उसको minimize करने की बात है. Enhance the adaptability and ensure the smooth adaptation of the new processes. Individual change management, and when we talk about the organizational change management, there are two types of changes which we normally observe. One is the proactive, which is planned. आपने कुछ तय किया है. Some curriculum is changing, some institutional ethos are changing, new management approaches are coming in. These are all proactive change, and there are reactive change. You don't know, there is a sudden situation into the market, like for example during the pandemic period, we never realized that this sort of situation will come down, lockdown will come down. And I'm sure many like me would have first ever time used the Google Meet kind of a tools during that time. But yes, we have changed, and this is what it is desired. But how to understand this change management? So I will take you to a very romantic story of Chandradev. Very romantic story. Dadishankha tusharabam shiro dharnava sambhavam namami shashinam somam sambho murkut bhushanam. This is one of the Navgraha mantra of Chandradev. Now, what is the story of Chandradev? Very interesting. He married to the 27 daughters of Daksh Prajapati. All were beautiful, as Chandra was also very beautiful. So he married to all these 27 daughters at a time. But unfortunately, he only loved one, Rohini. We all know the Rohini Nakshatra. And so he only loved one. The remaining 26 wives and the daughter of Daksha, they were feeling very neglected. And they used to complain this to their father. And Daksha in turn used to inform Chandra many a times. But Chandra was not in the mood of listening. He only loved Rohini and neglected all that 26 daughters of Daksh. Now, Daksh was also very mighty king. So, one fine day, out of all the frustration, and when he realized that this guy will not listen to me, he cursed Chandra that you will fade away. Tumhara tej chala jayega. You will fade. And the immediate effect started. So Chandra got worried. Now this was his beauty, and if this goes fed, how it will work? Again he approached Brahma, and Brahma again said that no, only Shiva can help you, no one else. So he went to Prabhas Tirth on the riverbank of Saraswati, today which we know as the Somnath, the first Jyotirlinga. So he went to Prabhas Tirth and he prayed Lord Shiva for 6 months. Shiva appeared and asked, what boon you want? Kya vardhan chahiye? So he said the story, what has happened with him. So Shiva said that I cannot take away the entire curse. because it has already been given by someone. But I will do something which can create a win-win situation. And what was that? He said that for the 15 days, you will wax Shukla Paks, and for 15 days, you will van Krishna Paks. This is what the lunar cycle which we understand. And by making this arrangement, he picked up the crescent moon. Very interesting analogy is here. He picked up the crescent moon and he has placed that on his forehead, that now no one can touch you. Now, interesting analogy is that why crescent moon? He was Lord of the Lords. He could have taken the full moon. But no, he has taken the crescent moon. I will connect this dot. How? Let's go to the understanding. The crescent moon is a situation of equipoise. Very beautiful word in the English language. I will show you a picture what equipoise means. This is equipoise. When you have seen such a gymnast who is balancing on a very narrow beam, क्या होता है? मन, शरीर, आत्मा और चेतना. It is in one line. It is in one synchronicity. Equipoise meaning balance refers to maintaining emotional and inner stability during the change. I have shown you the analogy. What is it? In times of pain or challenges, जब हमें दुख होता है, दर्द होता है, we instinctively learn and adapt to many new things. We grow. It does not mean that when we are in joy or happiness, we also learn at that time. Someone in romance or getting newly married, you can see he's a different mindset he's having. He is a good learner at that time. But the most inevitable part is that change is a cycle of ups and downs. It happens with everyone. We rise and we fall. We succeed and we struggle. We have few years of good part of the life. Then we have several years as the bad part of the life. We have several months, we have several days. Even during the daytime, some portion is good and some is bad. Something is not with you, something is with you. So it is a continuous cycle, but the true success lies in maintaining the equipoise, the Shakshi bow to the particular situation and creating inner balance and harmony. That is the true success. So this is what the equipoise when we talk about the individual change management. And when we talk about the organizational, as I mentioned, it could be either a proactive change management or a reactive change management. I have already given the examples. The common element in both the approaches is use of models, methods, and techniques, application of tools and skill, leveraging organizational knowledge for effective change execution. Both proactive and reactive change management ensure organization remains adaptable and resilient in dynamic environments. So this was about the change management. And again, few examples, as I quoted in earlier also. Again, from the academic world, I have taken implementation of the National Education Policy, NEP 2020. Lot of things has happened with that. You all know about it. Implementation of outcome-based education, OBE, let me tell you one thing, as I also practice into human resources. One of the survey which I was going recently, it said that 62% of STEM and management graduates are not an employable product. Look at this. I mean, it's so sad, but the fact remains that they are not the employable product. So implementation of outcome-based education, the shift from pure academics to the skill-based education, these are the beautiful examples into academic world. Autonomy of institutions are deemed to be universities, and implementation of choice-based credit system, CBCS. These are also classical examples from your academic world. We go to the next, the rarest of the rare and hardly practiced, which is a call for the day, not only for the individual, not only for the organization, but even for the political parties and the structure and system and infrastructure everywhere: wisdom management. When I address to the students, you all are very qualified people, as I see that majority are doctors, much literate than me. But when I explain wisdom management to the student, I give a very simple example. Understanding tomato is a fruit and not the vegetable is knowledge. But you cannot put this fruit in the fruit salad is wisdom. This is as simple as that. What is wisdom management? Wisdom management is the process of capturing, organizing, and applying deep insights, experience, and ethical judgment to enhance decision making and problem solving within an organization or society. It goes beyond knowledge management by integrating values, intuitions, and long-term vision to ensure wise and sustainable outcome. I think earlier a lot of speakers, I mean, they have been talking on the Yug Sutras, and they've been talking on the ancient wisdom, was all on the same line. Wisdom management focuses on contextual understanding, ethical consideration, and strategic foresight, helping individual and institutions to navigate complex challenges effectively. Let us understand this with, again, a little romantic story of Shiva and Parvati, husband and wife. The third eye, and the shloka, this is a Kannada, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Kannada poet, some Kannada poet has written this, and it has appeared in the movie also, some Kannada movie, which I love the most. Why? I will tell you. Chandrachud Shiva Shankar Parvati Ramana Nage Namo Nama. Chandrachud. Chandrachud is one locked with the Chandra. Chandrachud. Locked. Why locked? Because locking is a kind of a permanence which they are showing. And Chandra, again, what we have mentioned earlier, the crescent moon, equipoise. Shiva and Shankar, one is a householder, ek grahasth hai, and one is meditating, ek sannyast hai. Parvati, the femininity, the entire femininity, always love both the perspective of masculinity. स्त्री को पुरुष का दोनों ही रूप बहुत पसंद है. So Chandrachud, Shiv Shankar Parvati, Ramana Neenage, Namo Namaha. So here is the beautiful story of husband and wife, Shiva and his divine consort Parvati. Shiva, the story is very long, but I have taken, what was desired to establish the connectivity with our management aspect. Shiva was once wrapped into the meditation, and Parvati ji, होता है ना husband wife के बीच में, that kind of a playful thing. She was in a playful mood. So she closed both the eyes of Shiva from the back. And what happened? As the Shiva's eyes was closed, in instant, darkness swallowed in the world. पूरा ब्रह्मांड में एक कोहराम छा गया. Everything went into the darkness, and everyone, all living things, they started screaming for the help. There was kind of illusions dancing around. Now realizing the devastating situation, the forehead of Shiva cracked open and the third eye came out, and a fierce flow of light from the third eye of Shiva, uske त्रिनेत्र se jo nikla, that has stabilized the entire universe. Now the story goes long, and one of the connecting episode will come with other part of the management also, but here we will end up the story. So what we want to establish over here is that Shiva's third eye is the wisdom. Let me take you in the academic part only. Education, like management, has evolved from the mere data and information. Dissemination to the true knowledge management with wisdom as the next crucial step. Like Shiva's third eye, wisdom must dissolve ignorance, illusions, bringing clarity to teaching and decision making. As a teacher, we need to embrace the 4 E's. 1, efficiency, teaching the right way. Effectiveness, teaching the right things. Explicability, understanding and articulating knowledge. And 4th, ethics, taking responsibility for the wisdom we impart, essentially required for any teacher. True teaching wisdom lies in action, guiding, inspiring, and being accountable. Words alone cannot define us, action also. Recognizing wisdom assumes order and responsibility. It is knowing the difference between ignorance and enlightenment, choosing to empower minds with truth and integrity. This is what the wisdom management is. Again, few examples from your field. Spiritual intelligence and well-being in academic institutions. This is what is the happening. Look at the 4th one, which, as I mentioned, Indian knowledge system, IKS, is also one of the example, classical example. Today we all are learning that what kind of wisdom, what knowledge which we have in our rich Indian heritage. And this is what it is desired today. Nalanda and Takshashila model in the modern education is also one of them. And wisdom-driven decision-making through AI and big data. This has been the initiative of IIM Ahmedabad. Very interesting case study. Again, I'm not taking much time on this case studies because once you get this recorded version also, and even if you ask GPT Baba or Google Core, they will take you to the many examples into it. So this, we were talking about the wisdom. Now comes the opportunity management. Very interesting part, and a very interesting story also. The legend is very, I think this must be less heard story. So I have taken that. Anyway, first is, let us understand what opportunity management is. It is the systematic process of identifying, assessing, and capitalizing on potential opportunities to achieve strategic goals and maximize benefits. It involves proactively recognizing favorable conditions, evaluating risk and rewards, and making informed decision to seize the growth prospects. Now, what is the story? The connect to the legend is the Tripund, and the story of the legend of Tripur Samhar we are going to talk about. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaye Trambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikala Agni Kalaya Kalagni Rudraya Nilkantaya Mrityunjaraya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha. This is a beautiful painting by Pooja Mudgal. It is the canvas acrylic painting. And the story goes, or the legend goes in this way. Once there was a very mighty demon by the name Tarak, and he has three offsprings: Tarkaksh, Kamlakaksh, and Vidyunmali. ये असुर के तीन लड़के थे, तारकक्ष, कमलाक्ष, and Vidyunmali. They were also mighty, but that was not enough for them. So what they did was, they knew that if we perform a penance to Brahma, we will get some boon. So they had some mindset, some ideas for asking the boon. So they performed the penance, and again, usual Brahmaji appeared. So they asked for the boon. They said, we need 3 invincible cities. Adrashya Nagar. Pur jisko bolta hai, that is why it's Tripur, three Adrashya Nagars. So we need 3 invincible Nagar, aerial cities, which will be revolving around the sky, and no one can destruct us. हमारा कोई विनाश नहीं कर सकता. Now this boon can literally give the immortality to these 3 demons. So while granting the boon, as we see in the cell ad, there is a asterisk sign, TNC applies. In similar fashion, when Brahmaji had given the boon, there was an asterisk sign that you cannot be destroyed, but there will be one condition when you can be destroyed. So what is that condition? That in rarest of the rare occasion, you 3 cities will converge in one line for a fraction of time. And during that time, if someone strikes the arrow, and if that passes through all the 3 cities at a time, then only you can be destructed. So that was fine with all these 3 demons. They said, it's all right. This is not going to happen. This is the rarest of the rare situation. And with these powers of almost immortality and invincible Nagars, cities, they started creating havoc. Devo, Rishi, सब पे जुल्म ठाने लगे. They started creating a huge havoc on everyone. So obviously that became a very difficult situation for anyone. So they went to Shiva And Shiva, as I said, is a gullible hermit. So he was always ready to offer the help. So Shiva said, okay, I will do the needful. But for that, I need plenty of resources. We'll come to that slide. There's a special slide. What kind of resources he developed? He developed all the resources, and he waited with lot of patience and found the opportune time wherein those three cities converged for a fraction of time, and then he shooted the arrow, and all that three cities were destructed. From the ashes of that destructed site, he poured in his three finger, and then he made a tripund on his forehead. Now, what are the resources? That will come to it. But first, let us understand what is the synchronicity. In the dynamic landscape of education, OM, opportunity management, is a crucial process that enables institutions to identify and harness growth opportunities. Fostering academic excellence and community development, this multi-stage approach involves generating ideas, recognizing opportunities, and driving them to the execution. Success lies in the ability to transform challenges into opportunity, and no one else can understand better than you people. So I come to this is the beautiful sandalwood carving at Mysore, India. Left side, what you see. And on the right side, it is the ancient temple of Tripurantakai at Baligavi district, Shimoga district in Baligavi. Now, what were the resources? Very interesting analogy you will find. Shiva crafts the mighty chariot from Prithvi, earth. Prithvi symbolize the stable foundation, the very stable foundation of the organization. The chariot is guided by Brahma. उसका जो सारथी थे वे ब्रह्मा थे. तो Brahma is the symbol of wisdom. He delivers the visionary leadership. तो उनके सारथी थे ब्रह्मा. The chariot was pulled by 4 noble horses. जो 4 अश्व थे वो 4 वेद थे, signifying dharma, ethics, and unwavering principle driven by the core values. The wheels, जो उनके चक्र थे, पहिए थे, that were forged from sun and moon, that illustrate our relentless effort for day and night. We have to work very hard. And the bow he has created from Mount Meru. Mount Meru symbolizes the rock solidness. Mount Meru is a mountain which symbolizes that your tool should be rock solid. And the bowstring he created from serpent Vasuki. Vasuki नाग की बनाई थी. That reflects that adaptability and flexibility should be there for aiming at success. And very interestingly, the arrow was himself the Lord Vishnu. Now, this is the ultimate force of righteous action, ensuring the destruction of obstacles and the triumph of karma-driven excellence. The divine synergy teaches us that stability, wisdom, ethical foundation, diligence, resilience, adaptability, and purposeful actions are essential for organizational success. So this was Shiva's resources, the tools, and the synchronicity or the analogy. Again, few more examples from the your field. professor of practice from UGC. This was the wonderful initiative. Academic Bank of Credit, ABC, and multiple entry exit system. As I mentioned earlier, now academic should revolve around the employability aspect also, and the real life studies. So this is the opportunity. You can entry and exit. Industry, academia, and Atal Innovating Missions, ATM, and Atal Tinkering Labs, ATL, are also one of the very good examples. You can go into the details with help of internet. Now we comes to the crisis management. What is crisis management? Crisis management is a process of preparing for, responding to, and recovering from unexpected events that threaten an institutional stability, reputation, or operation. It involves identifying potential crises, developing response plan, and execution strategies to minimize the damages. Effective crisis management ensures swift decision-making, clear communication, and coordinated action to protect stakeholders and restore normalcy. I will take you to the legend, which is very popular, and it's a legend of Samudra Manthan, where Shivji consumes halal wish. ओम नमो नीलकंठाय श्वेत शरीराय सर्पालंकार भूषिताय भुजंग परिकाराय नाग यज्ञोपविताय अनेक मृत्यु विनाशाय नमः. What is the legend? I mean, Samudra Manthan is a big story. A lot of things happened during the Samudra Manthan, but we will take the portion which is desired to develop the synchronicity. But how Samudra Manthan happened? I mean, the story starts in this vision that once the Durvasa Muni, very angry old man, Durvasa Muni once approached Indra and he offered a very sacred garland, which was mishandled by his Airavat. Again, Indra was kind of a jealous personality, as described in the religious text. So immediately Durvasa cursed Indra that Devlok will be now mortal. Aap mrityu pamoge. And immediate effect already started. So this was not expected, and this should be worked out. So all the devas approached Vishnu, and Vishnu made an immediate plan that we need to churn the samudra and we need to find the nectar, amrit. After consuming the amrit, we all will be immortal forever. So all the resources were developed. Mount Mandodara as the shaft. Vishnu himself became the tortoise to hold the shaft, and Serpent Vasuki once again, working as a string. One end there are devas, and one end there were asuras. That was a teamwork, because everyone wanted that nectar, the amrit, to become the immortal. Now they started churning the milk ocean, and things started appearing from that milk ocean. There was one condition in this Samudra Manthan, that whatever comes out, there has to be a claimant for that. किसी को उसका ग्रहण करना पड़ेगा. So lot many things appeared, like Lakshmi and Kamdenu and Parijat and so many things. All good things. The claimant were easily available to take that. But then suddenly appeared the very dark poison, halal wish. So who could be the claimant? Everyone again started wondering, and all eyes were on Shiva. Shiva, gullible hermit, he said, it's all right, I will take that, I will consume that halal and let this Samudra Manthan to carry on to find the nectar. And he consumes the halal. It was so poisonous that his throat became blue. So he got the name blue-throated god, the Nilkant, with that. And how does our approach, the management approach, rhymes with the Samudra Manthan? The ancient legend of Nilkant and Samudra Manthan offers profound insight into crisis management, a principle equally vital in the realm of education and academia. The churning of the ocean represents both opportunity and challenges, much like evolving on the landscape of education. For curriculum changes to institutional reforms and technological disruption, academic institutions must navigate complex shifts while ensuring stability and progress. When halal poison emerged during the churning, Lord Shiva absorbed the crisis, preventing widespread destruction. This mirrors the role of strong academic leadership in managing crisis, whether addressing policy shift, student welfare concerns, or the financial challenges. Just as Shiva contained the poison without allowing it to spread, educational leader must implement damage control strategy to mitigate risk while ensuring institutional integrity. The collaboration between the Devas and Asura symbolizes the importance of stakeholder. Very important. Stakeholder meaning, your administration, faculty, students, and even the policy makers. And there has to be a meaningful work together situation. Ultimately, the emergence of Amrit nectar signifies that resilience, strategic decision making, and adaptability lead to a sustainable success in academia. So this was Nilkant and the crisis management. Again, few example, gender and diversity, crisis management, natural disaster and infrastructure resilience, COVID-19 pandemic, I have talked earlier also. Everyone has transitioned from, doing something to a different things, introducing quite a few, people started finding the opportunity. So this is what the crisis management is all about. Nidhi, Dr. Vikas, I think 7:45. I still have some part remaining. Should I continue?
Can you finish it in 7 minutes, Naynesh sir?
Okay, done.
Yeah, that should work.
Yeah, fine. And you can call me by my name. I don't belong to this sir, madam culture. Okay, I take this as the last episode. Emotional intelligence and emotional quotient, EI and EQ. Again, we have a lot of material on this, but do we really understand and do we really practice this? This is very important. I always talk about that. Say for example, Dhirubhai Ambani, Reliance Industry. He might have 100 times more literate people as his downline, but they can't become Dhirubhai Ambani. He was a great leader. The only difference was
I think
that-
somebody has been unmuted by mistake. Just a minute. If anybody has been unmuted by mistake, I think it's Binita ji. Yeah, I've muted. Yeah. Yes, sir. You can continue, please.
Okay. So Dhirubhai Ambani, the downline was 100 times more intelligent, more literate, and more well qualified. But I think the EQ of Dhirubhai Ambani was much higher compared to those people. So we are going to talk about emotional intelligence and emotional quotient. I think that is a measurable tool. EI is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence one's own emotions and those of others. It encompasses self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills, playing a key role in personal and professional development. EQ is the measurable score of EI. A high EQ often correlates with better leadership, communication, and interpersonal relation. And here is the legend of, again, Shiva and Parvati, but in a different way. Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaya Bhasmangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhaya Digambaraya Tasme Nakaraya Namah Shivaya. And what is the legend? There are two different legends, not biggest story. But the interesting thing is that once Parvati, wife asked for the ornaments. So Parvati ji, after the marriage, she asked Shiva that I need some ornaments. So Shiva said, no worries. He picked up the poisonous snake and from the around, and then he offered that as the ornaments to the Parvati. Parvati ji was, she was so scared, but something which has been offered by her husband, the Lord of the Lords, Mahadev. So she accepted that. There are various stories, something different in Skanda Puran and something different in the Padma Puran and something different in the Matsya Puran. But these are the kind of this thing. But the very interesting analogy is that the snake symbolizes the emotional intelligence, and that is the reason Shiva wears snake on his neck. I will come to that. What does that mean? It means Shiva's mastery over the serpent mirrors the essence of emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize, control, and channel emotions wisely. Just as Shiva wears the serpent without fear, those who cultivate EI can handle emotions with grace, turning challenges into the strengths. EI enables individual to regulate impulses, understand others, and manage relationship effectively. As Aristotle rightly said, anger should be directed at the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way. Shiva teaches us that emotions like serpent can either poisonous or be transformed into the power. When mastered, please note this word, when mastered, emotions can become a source of strength, helping us to navigate life without clarity, with clarity, wisdom, and inner peace. If you have mastered your ego, you can wear it. But if not, then don't wear it. This is the common problem with everyone. So these are the different episodes. Again, this is a test rather. There is no examples into it. I think Dr. Vikas or Nidhi, you can share this screen to the participants later on. And this gives you the very basic test of measuring your emotional intelligence. And you can do the interpretation yourself. So with this episode, there are a few more, but these are all different episodes. So we can stop at any given point of time. I think time is not permitting now. I end up my session with the closing lines. Parvati Pate, Har 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 Mahadev. Thank you so much, participants. Thank you for having your patience. I do not know how effective I have been, but for this sure, this is little different from the earlier speakers because, but I thought there has to be something where you can take it to your downline. You can pass it on to your downline streams. Hence, I thought of this presentation. And as Dr. Vikas mentioned, I talk on variety of subject. Colorology is my one of my favorite, and branding is obviously anytime, even at the midnight, you can call me and I can talk for hours on the branding. But with connecting the mythology to management, apart from the ShivaKathas, I have worked, or I am rather working on Jain Tirthankaras, and I am also working on the Shavtar, and I am also working on Hanuman, precisely Hanuman Chalisa. So thank you once again to everyone. It was wonderful evening for me. I don't know what I promised, that for 1.5 hours I will take you to the different world, whether you've gone or I don't know. But for the sure, I'm sure that you must have enjoyed. I will receive the feedback from Nidhi and Vikasji, so I will understand that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
नैनेश जी, आपका सेशन सही में बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग था. स्टोरी टेलिंग इज ऑलवेज नाइस, और सबने अच्छा एंजॉय किया. हमें कमेंट्स भी मिल रहे हैं इस सेशन के बारे में. और हमारी ये कोशिश रहती है कि सिर्फ एकेडमिक बात ना रहे या सिर्फ थियोरेटिकल बात ना रहे. इसीलिए हम IKS इन एक्शन के भी एक्सपर्ट्स को बुलाते हैं, इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स को भी बुलाते हैं. और आपका सेशन सही मायने में सब चीजें थी. इसमें एकेडमिक लर्निंग भी थी, क्योंकि आपने उसी तरह से हर एक चीज को वो कंटेक्स्ट दिया था जो हमारे लिए इम्पोर्टेंट है. हम लोग जो एकेडमिया से जुड़े हैं उन लोगों के लिए कंटेक्स्ट भी था उसमें, और स्टोरीज भी बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग थी. जो कुछ सवाल है उस सवाल को अब निधि जी आप पढ़ेंगे. मैं क्या सवाल है वो हम पुट अप करते हैं नैनेश जी के सामने.
श्योर. सो अभी तक हमें चैट बॉक्स में कोई प्रश्न मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है. So I invite all the participants to either raise their hand or share their question in the chat box. Meanwhile, there are lots and lots of appreciation, Naynesh sir, for your session. Very interesting, very informative, wonderful and very engaging. Absolutely. And Geetasri ji is saying that the way you have chanted the mantras, giving the musical effect that has enhanced the effectiveness, जिस तरह से आपने जो रिस्पेक्टिव हर एस्पेक्ट के साथ मंत्र जो जुड़े हुए हैं उसको जिस तरह से आपने चैंट किया है, that has definitely enhanced the effectiveness of the knowledge that we have learned. Chandra Mohan ji is saying that Indian mythology is most effective than any colonial personality development theories. Absolutely true, though.
True.
I would request everyone to kindly reflect on the use of the word mythology. What we have in Indian knowledge systems is not mythology. It's not a myth. It's our history and it's our culture. Very interesting lecture. Never thought, again, mythology could be connected to management in such a way. Absolutely. And what I really enjoyed about Naynesh sir's lecture is the way it was organized. I mean, you laid the background and the context for ShivaKatha. You took us through different important stories. Some of the legends we already know, some were new to us. And then connected it, number one, with management lessons, which is interesting because management lessons, I believe, can be applied to all aspects of life, academia included. And I think the insights that you have presented from an academic perspective, some of us in academia also don't know about it. Right? A lot of startup initiatives. Of course, we may know about Swayam, Portal, MOOC, and etc. But मुझे लगता है कि काफी सारे, जैसे सर ने अभी जो एग्जांपल्स आपको स्लाइड पे दिख रहे हैं, ऐसे जो एकेडमिक दृष्टिकोण से जो उदाहरण सर ने बताए हैं, मुझे भी कई सारे नहीं पता थे जो अकेडमिया में रहकर हमें पता होने चाहिए. So that was very, very interesting. And this entire connection between ShivaKatha and management in terms of wisdom management, knowledge management, opportunity management, crisis management, and I think change management. I think it is very, very useful, and there are a lot of takeaways for all of us here. So again, I invite anyone, अगर आपके पास कोई प्रश्न नहीं है तो आप अपना जो ओपिनियन है वो शेयर कर सकते हैं. आपको क्या लगा इस सेशन के बारे में? सो चंद्रमोहन जी इज सेइंग दैट वेरी हैप्पी टू हैव यू सर. टुडे इज मंडे, लॉर्ड शिवा का
Yes.
है, शिव जी का दिन है, तो बहुत ही अनुकूल है, उपयुक्त समय है जिस पर आज ये लेक्चर हो रहा है. Yes, anybody who would like to share any reflection, whatever you have learned or whatever you have taken, what are the takeaways, if you could also share it with us, that would also be very helpful. We can wait for a few moments. So I have one question, Naynesh sir. If we want to get all the stories that you have narrated, is there one single source that we could refer?
No, these are from the different Purans, and obviously I didn't have that time and patience to go through all the Purans kind of a thing. So what I did was I read. Now I need to check. I think Swami Ved Prakash or someone who has written the commentary on the Puranas in one book, and that made my life much easier. And of course, internet is one of the great resource. So there are a lot of Indic knowledge and mythology management kind of a websites which provides authentic information on the particular legend.
Okay. So yeah, because we are talking about stories from stories in the context of ShivaKatha, I thought there may be one single source where we could get all these
No,
stories. But
at
yeah,
least I have not come across. And if you come across, please share that with me.
definitely. I think we'll be depending more on you to share
But
resources.
wonderful thing is the recent, episodes of Shiva by Amish Tripathi. His storytelling, is the narrator. It's
Yes.
a wonderful series to watch. Wonderful series to watch. He takes you to the different part of the Shiv temples and the Katha of Shiv with authentic information on this thing. But as I mentioned, these texts are cross text. So the same story you may find something different in Matsya Puran. The same story is different in Garuda Puran and so on and so forth. So we have to take what is relevant to us and develop the synchronicity. That is what I have done.
Thank you, sir. There is a request, sir, for sharing your email ID. So with your
Sure,
kind,
sure. You want me to write down on the or okay.
yeah, I
Anyway,
think
otherwise,
Dr.
because
Vikas,
can you Naynesh Parekh at gmail.com is my personal ID and Naynesh at ascent80.com is my official ID. So you can come on Naynesh Parekh at Gmail anytime.
I have written it. Naynesparek@gmail.com.
You can give my mobile number also. You can call me anytime, no issues. Happy to help anyone.
Thank you so much, sir. So since I don't see any question, I'll just ask one more
Our
question.
questions do not come for the two extreme reasons. I hope it is not otherwise.
No, I think here the reason is that everybody has been quite engrossed in your session, and it has given them a lot of food for thought. They have absorbed and they have gulped it down really well. I think that's the reason for
I
no
hope so.
questions.
I hope so.
Yeah. I want also, and I think I'm just putting questions on behalf of all the participants. Sir, since you have been in the corporate world, um, and you have been doing this session in different sectors, corporate world, academia, etc. What is the receptivity that the corporate world has towards our traditional knowledge system? Because we do see that a lot of the graduates and postgraduates who enter the corporate world do come with a Western epistemological framework. So when you have taken these aspects to them, to boardrooms, to CEOs, to employees, what has been their receptivity?
Nidhi, will be surprised to know that corporate houses have the positions like belief officer. If you follow Devdutt Patnaik, he is a belief officer, chief belief officer in some major MNC pharmaceutical company. Similarly, even at the small places, I belong to a small geography, not very big, but here also they love to hear while you are decoding Lakshmi, while you are decoding Shri Yantra, or while you are talking on the Vishnus and Ashtalakshmi and so many things. So they love to hear that and they love to implement that. Believe me, I have recently been to one of the very big company here at Morbi, very big, huge tile company. But when we entered, we have seen, instead of the beautiful facade and all that things, there was a goshala. There were Brahmins who were chanting the mantras. There was Shivlingam, and people, staff and everyone, whenever they come, they offer the prayer first and then they go inside. So these are the things which evolves with the corporate world. I suppose many such companies have incorporated their or rather the belief systems of the Hindu mythology into their work practice also.
Thank you. Thank you. That is really very encouraging and gratifying to hear. There is one question from Jyoti ji. Firstly, she has expressed appreciation. She's saying that she's spellbound to have a deep conceptual understanding, I guess, from you. So, sir, she's asking that for teachers, should they start from the scratch in context of I guess? Should they start from reading the Ved and the Puran?
Yes, I think even for the students, making them understand the Sanatan Sanskriti with small things, why we offer diya and what is Panch Diya and what is the other rituals which we have in our daily life, they'll be able to start and build up some connectivity. I always believed that the young students, they are not finding the connectivity for several reasons, because our legions are so fantasyful, and I mean it is hard to believe 400 god and 600 god and 10-headed asurs and all that stuff which does not come to their mind. Then they are not able to connect. When grandparents says this story, they don't have this dimension to make them understand that what is the spiritual and philosophical meaning of this particular things. But when we explain that what the 10 head means, or what the 2 head means, or what the 4 head means, or 4 hand means, then they will start connecting. I will tell you one real life. When I was taking this program here in Rajkot in one of the very known university, and the class was of postgraduate students in the management. When I was taking, the feedback, because in a live session I can take the feedback. So I asked them, and this was the similar kind of happening was there, that there was no questions asked. So I was taking the feedback. I said, what happened there? I mean, is it other way around? So he said, no, sir. If I had to put it in very simple words, you have changed my perspective. When I will go to the Shiv Mandir, I will go with different mindset. I said, this is enough. This is what I gained with my 2 hours of presentation. So it's simple to start with Sanatani rituals and then getting deeper into the other aspects.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that reflection, sir. And I believe that many of us are already engaged in the ritualistic aspects, and hopefully, this certificate course so far has been able to encourage all our participants to engage much more deeply and meaningfully with the philosophical aspect of our knowledge systems. I now invite Dr. Vikas to provide a closure to the session, and we move towards the vote of thanks now.
Nothing to share in the closer actually. जस्ट इनफॉर्मली आई वुड लाइक टू शेयर दैट नैनेश जी के साथ रिश्ता दोस्ती का ऐसा है कि उनके कंधों पे हाथ रख के हम बात कर सकते हैं, पर उस दोस्ती में भी हमें पता है कि उनके पास से जो भी डोमेन की बात चल रही हो, उस डोमेन के बारे में उनके पास से जो नॉलेज, जो इंसाइट, जो इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है वो बहुत ही रेयर होती है, वो बहुत ही गहरी होती है. तो आई वॉज वेरी मच श्योर दैट नैनेश जी का ये जो सेशन है वो सबके लिए उतना ही फ्रूटफुल और इंसाइटफुल रहेगा, और आई बिलीव कि वो सबके लिए रहा ही है. सो ही इज लाइक अ फ्रेंड, मेंटोर, गाइड, सब कुछ. तो और उनका जो स्टाइल है, उनकी जो पकड़ है स्टोरी टेलिंग में, वो आज हम सब ने देखी है. और इन्होंने जो जो मैनेजमेंट के बारे में बात की है, और जैसे डॉक्टर निधि ने मेंशन किया कि प्रेजेंटेशन वाज वंडरफुल, तो ये प्रेजेंटेशन मैनेजमेंट भी इम्प्लिसिटली आज हम लोगों ने देख लिया कि कैसे हम एक एंगेजिंग वे से हम प्रेजेंटेशन को पुट अप कर सकते हैं. थोड़ा इश्यू जो था वो हमारा जो लैंग्वेज डिवाइड है वो रहा. हमने बहुत टाइम ये एक्सपीरियंस किया है, डॉक्टर निधि ने और मैंने भी, कि जब हम लोग सेशन में 50-50 लैंग्वेज में पोर्शन में चलते हैं, हिंदी और इंग्लिश में, तो काफी सारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स होते हैं वो रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि प्लीज कीप इट 100% इंग्लिश. और हमने रिक्वेस्ट किया था, नैनेश सर से बात हुई थी, तो आई रिक्वेस्टेड हिम की ये जो लैंग्वेज वाला है वो इश्यू ना आए तो इंग्लिश विल बी प्रेफर्ड लैंग्वेज. बट आज हमने रिक्वेस्ट हमें मिली है कि हिंदी होना चाहिए. सो थोड़ा वो बैलेंस है. हम लोग लास्ट में जैसे हम लोग अभी हिंदी में बात कर रहे हैं, तो वो बैलेंस बनाया है. बट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज लैंग्वेज जो भी हो, हिंदी और इंग्लिश, पर जो लर्निंग थी वो लर्निंग उतना मुश्किल नहीं था, क्योंकि स्टोरी टेलिंग से जो सर ने सब कुछ समझाया है, जो कंटेक्स्ट वो लाए हैं एकेडमिया के साथ, वो कंटेक्स्ट बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट था, और बहुत ही सारा लर्निंग था पूरे प्रेजेंटेशन में और पूरे उनका जो लेक्चर था उसमें. सो आई होप कि सबके लिए वो एक्सपीरियंस है वो उतना ही शानदार रहा होगा जितना हमें वो एक्सपेक्टेशन है. Dr. Nidhi, whom we are going to call for the vote of thanks?
Yeah, Dr. Vikas. So for the formal vote of thanks from the organizing team, I would like to invite Dr. Nitin Chaudhary, sir, Associate Professor, Physical Education Department.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Namaste, Nitin, sir. Namaste.
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, sir. May I proceed, ma'am?
Yeah, sure, sir. Please proceed.
Thank you. Thank you. It is my proud privilege to extend a heartful vote of thanks, sir, on behalf of Nucleus of Learning and Management and on behalf of SMP Government Girls PG College. I would like to extend my heartful thanks to you as today's keynote speaker, Mr. Naynesh Parekh, take a lecture on maheshment. Sir, I would like to ask this thing. This is the concept. Maheshment is like a modern education system with our Almighty God. Everybody look at this, that ShivaKatha, but I have looked at the topic name is maheshment.
True. I wanted to develop the synchronicity between the, as I mentioned earlier also, that connecting to the student or the young age is difficult. They will not accept anything if you talk beyond science. They do not connect to the fantasy. They need some facts and figures and data. So I thought this is the way to do that. And Nitinji, I suppose you were the first participant to come in today's session. So I appreciate that. But I mentioned earlier in the initial this thing that, it disturbed my belief system when someone defined the Shivlingam in this fashion. So this is where the belief system has to be changed. It's difficult to change unless and until if we don't talk about or do not connect with the management and modern science. So this was my ये प्रयास था कि I should do this way and let me change the perspective of young genre in understanding the Shiva also and understanding the management theory also. Wisdom management, for an example, as I mentioned, it is rarest of the rare. Who is practicing? You check out. I mean, it is very difficult to get one example that they are practicing wisdom management, knowledge management. These are the concerns. We have heard a lot of things. Bookish ज्ञान काफी है हमारे पास, पर implementation सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. Political parties, they need to understand the wisdom management. So these are the things. I mean, when Pahalgam was attacked and India was planning and everyone used to be war kar do, finish it of Pakistan and do this and do that. It was wisdom management. They took us such a long time to strategize the right things to do at the right time, at the right way and right angle. This has to be practiced in everyday's life for anyone. I hope I answered you.
Yes, sir. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Actually, we will not going to forget this topic name and the way you teach the actions of our Almighty. We can say that teaching of Almighty or actions of Almighty teach us with today's knowledge of system. Sir, when we going to take our class for management, and before than this, we also have taken the 6 Sigma class for management. But I don't have that much explanation with examples. तो आपने बहुत ज़्यादा simple एक explanation के साथ शिव जी के जो कृत्य हैं या जो उन्होंने किए हैं उनके explanation के साथ अपनी जो एक डिफिकल्ट टर्म है विजडम मैनेजमेंट, अपॉर्चुनिटी मैनेजमेंट को बहुत सरल तरीके से जो समझाया है वो हमारे लिए तो बहुत फ्रूटफुल है, क्योंकि फ्यूचर में भी हम अपने बच्चों को इसी तरीके से सिखाने वाले हैं और सर्च करने वाले हैं जो चीजें आपकी रह गई हैं. मुझे लगता है कि सर कुछ स्लाइड्स आपकी रह गई हैं, तो वो लगता है कि हमारे लिए होमवर्क हो गया है कि वो कौन सी स्लाइड्स होंगी और सर ने क्या टॉपिक लिया होगा, तो हम अपने आप से सर्च करके उसमें ऐड करेंगे. बट सर द वे डिफरेंट you can say that the knowledge management system, the synchronization with Ganga Udgam, change management, synchronization with Chandradev, opportunity management, one of my favorite. We used to say this word, sir. I can't say कि ये कहना चाहिए, but हिंदी में हम एक मुहावरा भी कहते हैं, एक तीर से 3 शिकार. तो वो सही समय पर हो सकते हैं, उसके लिए सारी परिस्थिति सामंजस्य आप अपने अनुसार कर सकें. ये आपके इस एग्जाम्पल से बहुत अच्छे से समझ में आया सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच. एंड so many things. Crisis management, you say, sir, that in Samudra Manthan, Shivji has taken but sometimes we feel so that this poisonous have to taken everybody of the responsibility of everybody, then it should be taken with the everybody of the जो system में involve है, not leader every time.
सही बात है, बिल्कुल सही बात है.
बिकॉज ऑफ सम लिमिटेशन सर, अगर लगता है ये फेस टू फेस एक सेशन होता तो बहुत सारे डिस्कशन आपके साथ होते और सेशन लगभग 2.5-3 घंटे का जाता. बट बिकॉज ऑफ नेट लिमिटेशन, इंटरनेट लिमिटेशन, आजकल हर कोई ये सोचता है कि अगर मैंने माइक ऑन किया तो दूसरी तरफ से कोई और पूछ सकता है और डिस्टर्ब होगा. दैट इज व्हाई दैट ऑल इंटेलेक्चुअल पीपल आर सिटिंग calmly and silently grasping your knowledge whatever you have given to us. Sir, very very thank you sir. And प्लीज सर एक रिक्वेस्ट आपसे है कि आप अगर ये स्लाइड हम सबसे शेयर कर सके ताकि हम आपके नॉलेज ऑफ विजडम को आगे बढ़ा सकें.
I think Niti and Vikas ji is going to do that. So yeah, fine, sure, for the sure.
Sure. With your kind permission, sir, we will share it. Once you have permitted, we will share it. No problem.
And I would also like to thank Dr. Nidhi and Dr. Vikas for hosting this session with very smoothly and precisely. बार बार मैं निधि मैम को बीच में देख ही रहा था कि वो कमेंट बॉक्स में इनिशिएट भी कर रही हैं दैट इट इज लाइक ए मैनेजमेंट स्किल टू मोटिवेट एवरी पर्सन, क्लैपिंग करके और सबको कि हाँ आप लोग ध्यान दीजिए यहाँ पे, अगर कहीं इधर उधर चले गए तो। निधि मैम, थैंक यू वेरी मच
थैंक
सभी
यू
को बांधे रखने के लिए पूरे 10 दिन से। अभी बचे हुए हैं वैसे 3 दिन।
हाँ, अभी और भी बहुत सारे इंटरेस्टिंग सेशंस आने वाले हैं, और नितिन सर आपने बहुत ही अच्छे से समराइज किया है सेशन को, और मुझे हर्ष है कि सभी ध्यान से सुन रहे थे नैनेश सर के प्रेजेंटेशन को। और मैं तो आपसे कहूंगी, लता मैम भी हैं, कि आप लोग नैनेश सर को मेरठ बुलाइए वर्कशॉप लेने के लिए।
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। सर का नंबर मिल गया है, सर से कांटेक्ट करती हूँ। अगर सर इसके लिए तैयार हो जाएंगे तो मैं जरूर बुलाऊंगी।
बिल्कुल।
Anytime, ma'am.
और मुझे तो
Thank you,
हर
sir.
समय लगा कि नैनेश सर ही इज द परफेक्ट एडवर्टाइजिंग मीडिया ब्रांडिंग पर्सन। आई मीन वो उनके प्रेजेंटेशन में, पर्सनालिटी में, लेक्चर लेने के तरीके में झलक कर आ रहा है। मुझे लगता है डॉक्टर विकास, वी शुड गेट सर टू MSU ऑल्सो।
मैम, लेट मी फिनिश सर.
Yeah, sure. Please go.
Madam, I would also like to thank our chief patron and principal of the college, Professor Dr. Anju Singh, who has given us the opportunity to hear something new from the side of your, and the coordinator or convener of this organizing committee, Dr. Lata Kumar, in charge IQAC from our college. At last, I would like to thank all the participants who are listening here patiently, because this is the time I think I found so many people are attached with this, and this is the right time that people have to starting preparing for the dinner. So I would like to thank all of them. And last, sir, once again, thank you, Naynesh sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.